Bratans, welcome back on this channel. When we saw last time this event happened, Bitcoin pumped over 9,000%. Will this happen right now or in the next weeks or months? The same, this is what we will speak, but let us start with the Bitcoin Ethereum chart right now, because we see we broke up this massive resistance line, which is since August 2022. This is highly bullish for Ethereum because Ethereum breaking to the upside. And will Ethereum right now outperform Bitcoin? This is the question. We see right now on this Bitcoin dominance chart, we see that the Bitcoin dominance is getting rejected, which actually means that we should see Bitcoin dumping but altcoins pumping. I mean, not Bitcoin dumping, but at least a consolidation of Bitcoin, which speaks that Ethereum also should outperform Bitcoin in the next days or weeks. If we are watching on the Ethereum chart right now, we see we broke this resistance line since April 2023. We perfectly broke it up, retested it, and see right now a further pump to the upside, which also speaks for that we should see Ethereum running to at least the level of our previous high at 2,131. Let me quickly check if I'm live. Yes, I'm live. Also, let us speak right now about Bitcoin. We see we formed right now a triple bottom, so-called a triple bottom, or some people say it's not a triple bottom, it's a double bottom and a higher low. It doesn't matter how you call it, or inverse Yarak pattern, so inverse head and shoulders pattern. This looks very bullish. However, we have to break the daily resistance line, the monthly resistance line, and this massive red resistance line at around 28k, where is the extreme volume coming. We saw it on the VPVR. If I open the VPVR, you will see it also. You see it around 28k. There is massive volume coming, so watch out for this. And if we are watching here on this chart, we see also on the 4-hourly chart that it looks very beautiful. We create the low and two higher lows, so this looks also very healthy, very bullish for Bitcoin. But watch out for this support line, which turned into resistance line. Yesterday we retested, we closed with the green candle, but we not broke above it. So I want to see a break above this resistance line in order to see Bitcoin running to the upside to our price target of around 36k. Why 36k? Because you remember at 36k is our massive resistance line, which is coming in, wait a minute, not on this chart, on this chart we see it perfectly here at around 36k. This is our massive resistance line. So we have to break this resistance line at around 27,300 in order to see Bitcoin running to the upside. Therefore, be very careful in case we are today in the next days retesting it and fail the breakthrough, and we see we're getting rejected to downside. We see Bitcoin running down to around 25k first, because at 25k we are getting here our monthly resistance 24,800. But if we break also our monthly resistance at 24,800 support line, monthly support line, then we could go down to 21k, because at 21k we have here this CME gap, which is at 21,210, right? So watch out for this. Quickly, wait a minute, I have to check if I'm online. Okay, yes, I'm online. So watch out for this. The CME gap has not to be closed, but it tends to be closed. So the probability is very likely that it's getting closed. If we are watching right now the big picture, and this is the 9,000% which we saw in 2013, 2017. We saw after the capitulation, Bitcoin pumped over 9,000%. We had two sideways consolidation. We had here one sideways consolidation back then, 2013, 2017, and a second one after we saw parabolic move to the upside, basically after the capitulation. And based on this chart, we are right now in the first sideways consolidation, where we could see Bitcoin a little bit more breaking to the downside. So I want to show you here on our big picture model where we are. So this chart showing us 2030, 2017, it's showing us exactly here this capitulation. And here our bull market, here we saw a pump of over 9,000%. And according to this chart, we are right now in this sideways consolidation, which would be here And we could see here some more drop to 18,000 or even 16,000, but from here on a pump to our next all-time high, which will be around between 130 and 140%. It could be a pump of over 700%. So 7x could Bitcoin does. And when will be our all-time high? Between 2024 or 2025. To be more concrete, at around 2025. Why? Because here the green field are the start of the green field is the halving, at the end of the green field is the end of the bull market, and it always was 1 year. 1 year it was 2012, 2013, 1 year 2016, 2017, 1 year halving 2020 start the halving, 2021 the bull run was over, and the halving will start 2024, and 2025 the bull run will be over. It's not a guarantee, but based on the past it's very probable. But let us quickly speak if we could not possibly see Bitcoin running in the immediate short term to the upside. And the question for this, or the answer for this, could be very interesting, because we spoke yesterday about the debt ceiling. They agreed to increase the debt ceiling, right? But we saw an interview. So basically, I explained to you in the video yesterday, watch the video where I explained exactly what treasuries are, what are bonds, what are the debt ceiling. But basically, for everybody who is right now new to our channel, basically it's they agreed they will spend another $1 trillion, but they don't have the money yet. So they need the money to get from the people, from the countries, from the companies, and they get it only through bonds, treasuries, right? And we saw the interview with Jerome Powell, which is Fed chairman, in 2011, before he was Fed chairman. He said the only thing how the US government can get money into the system is if they crash the stock market. So bad news bring money into the treasuries, into the bonds. And the interesting thing is here, Balaji wrote yesterday, if debt ceiling is raised, what they did, they agreed on raising the debt ceiling, then treasuries can borrow again, so they can get money again. But they need to, from who they get money? And they would borrowing a lot of money, months at once, trillions in treasuries. But who has that kind of money? Who has these treasuries? Not banks. They died buying bonds because banks bought bonds before the crash, before we went into bull market, when the bonds had the price here. But right now the bond price is here, so it dropped a lot. And the banks, in order to pay out the people who want to withdraw money, wanted to sell the bonds, but they couldn't sell the bonds because they bought it here and the price now here. So therefore they had a deficit in their bank, and the bank had a deficit in their bank account, so they got bankrupt. So banks will not buying bonds. Foreigners now buying gold. Why foreigners buying gold? Because of the big global geopolitical, economic, however you want to say it. Because the conflict between Russia and US, the other countries saw that if you are buying bonds and you have a problem with the US, they can just freeze your bonds. So therefore, the China, who is one of the biggest, who has one of the biggest holdings of US treasuries, they start to selling their US bonds, because they understand they cannot hold trillions of bonds. If they do something what is against the interests of the US, they just freeze their money. They will not get the money back to. They cannot sell the bonds back. So countries or foreigners buying right now gold, not bonds. So it's the Fed who will buy the bonds with yield curve control. So basically it means to get these trillions, because the US government has $1 trillion in obligations within the next 4 weeks. So they have somehow to get $1 trillion, and as we see that banks will not buy it probably, countries will not buy it probably, so the Fed has to print money and buy it back, which means basically we see the inflation is spiking up, and if inflation is spiking up, or as soon as we get this green light that they start printing money, we will see Bitcoin starting to go to the upside, because it's a hedge against inflation, right? I hope you understand it. If you don't understand it, watch the video again. Here you see it perfectly. Since 2009, the marketable treasuries are getting more and more, but people, dealer report borrowing, getting less and less. So they're trying to get money from the countries, from the people, but nobody want to buy these bonds. You know, if you don't understand what treasuries are bonds, please watch the video from yesterday. I explained to you very perfectly. Even for if you have Down syndrome, you will understand it, brother. Everyone will understand it. Let us watch the stock market right now, because the S&P 500, which is the leading indicator for Bitcoin, pumped like crazy. And why it pumped? Not only S&P 500 pumped, but also the Dow Labs 700 points on hot jobs reports. A hot jobs report was the reason. Nasdaq notches 6th straight winning week. When this words which they're using. So this is the reason for the pump. Let us go to the next news. US senators still think Bitcoin adoption in Salvador could pose a threat. And this news is so bullish for Bitcoin, because if the US government is very bearish on Bitcoin, this is when you have to be bullish. If the US government is very bullish on Bitcoin, this is the moment when you have to be bearish, because actually they want to buy it very cheap back. So therefore, always this bad news in the mainstream media about crypto is very good news for crypto. Good news in crypto is very bad. This is the moment when you should sell your crypto. Let us watch the next news, and here we have Coinbase derivatives to launch institutional Bitcoin and Ethereum futures. This is very bullish, because Coinbase started offering these small contracts last year already, but the new futures contracts will be for institutional investors, so will be much larger. And the money which we need into crypto is from the institutions, because the money, the inflow in Bitcoin and all this fucking altcoins, it's not enough if you put there $1,000, $100,000 or $1 million. We want the institution which putting billions of dollars in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, in altcoins. This is what led the market cap of these of altcoins and cryptos pump to the upside. So actually this news is very bullish. Dr. Schulz, liebe Grüße zurück. Let's go further. Asset class total returns since 2011, and man, this is so crazy. Bitcoin like outperformed. They fucked all the asset classes, but I cannot even explain. You see it here. Since from 2011 to 2023, Bitcoin had a cumulative or cumulative, I don't know how it's spelled, over 9 million %. So it was on annual basis by 150. You got 150% profits on your Bitcoin only, on your Bitcoin. They outperformed by far commodities, which been very bullish compared to all the other like Nasdaq, gold, not gold, cash and blah blah blah. So therefore, you see, if you're how it called, if you are if you're a professional advisor, financial advisor, will not advise you to buy Bitcoin, then you should fire him, Bratan. Let us go further to the next news. I know it's not the next news, but we see here Bitcoin is still in June minus 0.27%. We could see a red June, but it depends. If the Fed start printing money, then we could see a very green June for Bitcoin, because if the Fed start printing money, we will see Bitcoin running to the upside. July should be green, because the last 3 years July was very green. Possibly July we can count on very green. And back to the US treasuries, look at this. They are already at 3.7%. So yesterday we saw them at 3.6%. Right now already at 3.7%. Why? Because nobody want to borrow the US money. So they tell you, bro, please lend me money. I give you even 3.7% on your money. But nobody will buy it. So if nobody will buy it, then we can just watch on the history, on the near history, which happened several weeks, several months ago in the UK, when the gilts went up, when this percentage on the gilts, in the US it's 10-year treasury bonds, in the US it's 10-year treasury gilts. They went to 4% or nearly to 5%. What they did, UK start printing money and buying back. So this is what potentially could happen right now to the US, that they start printing money. And let us quickly watch what is very important. The 14th June, we will see Fed meeting, and the probability that they will not raise the interest rate is at 74% right now. The forecast that they will not increase the interest rates, that they will raise in interest rates is at around 25.3%. I'm very interested how they will navigate through it, because I mean, Either way, they fucked because they have to pay this $1 trillion within the 4 weeks, the US government, but I don't know where they're getting money from, so they possibly can only print money. Do you have any questions, Bratan? I will answer 3 questions. If you have any questions, write me down below, Bratans. I hope you like this live videos. Please write me, do you like this live videos, or should I do more just videos recording and then uploading them? I don't see even how much people right now in the chat. I hope it's working. It's working. Everything working out right now. Let me quickly watch. Is everything working out? What the fuck? New managing, blah blah. Okay, I don't see right now. Oh, 22 people watching right now. Amazing. 22 people. Okay, let us do the Q&A later because possibly maybe something is wrong with the live stream or nobody had a question. Thank you everyone for watching, Bratan. I kiss you and I see you later.